We continue live right here. Pittsburgh CW, the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call on the Borders and Borders Hotline. Bob Pompeani, Gene Collier, and you at 412-575-2600. No new updates on Antonio Brown unless Gene has one.
Oh, no.
Do you have any, Gene?
I don't.
No. Okay, good.
I don't follow him on Twitter. Do you, Bob?
I do, but he blocked me, so it's hard to...
He blocked you?
He blocked me.
Oh, that's all those outrageous political views you have, probably.
That's right. Let's go to line 2, get it going with Mark in Greensburg. Hey, Mark, welcome to the Sports Call. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
The Penguins, it's very worrisome that they're losing at home. They didn't do this since the new arena opened. And also, I think Malkin's lost a step or so. He seems to be getting old quick. And why would they trade Jamie Alexiak? Is he not fast enough?
Well, they have a surplus of defensemen, so I wasn't surprised he was necessarily traded. I was surprised it was for a fourth-round pick and not part of a bigger package. I thought for sure if they had thoughts about Brassard, him, somebody else, to try to get what they want, unless they're just trying to replenish what has been a draft board that has missed some key slots because they've traded those first, second-round picks in order to gain people to try to win, which I have no problem with, Gene. But
this made no sense to me at all. Not only did you trade him for a fourth-round pick, but to the same team that you got the fourth-round. This is like saying to the Dallas Stars, you know what? Never mind.
Well, Malkin is another problem. Gave up the shorthanded turnover that led to the Brian Boyle goal.
He'll give the puck away
too many times from him, and I don't know why he's in this funk. I still want to see him play with Kessel, which he did tonight, but it's got to be frustrating, a guy of that time. He's not been very good. The stats will, if you're looking for strictly offensive stats, fine. But he's a minus 21 now. You can't.
Yeah, I mean, he's gone through stages before where he hasn't been very good, or just off, or just not, not concentrating, or what have you. But this is an extended period, and it looks like he's just not dealing with it very well. There's really no excuse for that. You're on a team with a lot of really talented offensive players. You should be able to, work your way back into that rhythm without, making a spectacle of yourself, if you would. And so I expect that to end pretty soon. I mean, this is usual. Malkin's not old enough, in my view, to lose a step, or however you want to describe it. I think he's just going through a really, really bad time.
No, I don't think it's about a step. I agree with you. I just think sometimes his head's not in the game. And that's a problem when that happens. Let's go to Bill and Nevin calling. Hey, Bill, welcome to the Sports Call. How are you?
Good, Bob. This is about the Pirates. I'm 60 years old, and I grew up a Pirates fan.
Okay.
And I played 4 years of Little League. And at the end of the year, we'd all get to go see a game. And I got the pleasure of getting to see Roberto Clemente make a basket catch in Forbes Field. This was so awesome. And see Stargell hit a home run at Forbes Field. And then I got to go to one game at the 79.
What's your point, though? I don't want to go through memory lane too long. We have a lot of callers. What's your point?
Okay, I just say that, since you're going to be rude about it, there was a...
I'm not being rude about it. I'm just saying we need to get to the point, whatever it is.
Well, in a New England game, Kansas City should have got called for a pick play on their touchdown. Thanks for being so rude.
Okay, wonderful call. I have no idea where that came from.
Well, he's 60 years old.
Wait a minute.
So...
That is no excuse, is it? All right, let's go on to line 1. Wally in Fort City. What's up, Wally? How are you?
Hey, I'm 71. Don't slam the door on me.
I didn't slam the door. I'm just, he was going down explaining all.
We're trying to figure out what the point of that was. The only point of that was he wanted to tell us how old he was. Go ahead, but you're 71. You wanted to do it too? Go ahead.
This one's for Gene.
Sure.
I want to simplify things. They're going to have to hire a cast of thousands to manage the clock now for Tomlin. And I'm thinking, why don't we just get some guy that runs out at the beginning of the game, shoots the 12-gauge shotgun, and the game starts? You go back into a tent, you keep the clock. Nobody else sees the clock. Halftime, bang, halftime's over. And then, 15 minutes, nobody has to manage the clock. You play.
You do have to manage the clock.
No, you score.
Well, this is interesting. This is obviously somebody who's 71, because I remember the first high school games that I went to, and that would have been in 1959, 60, like that.
Okay.
There was no clock. There was no score where there was no clock. The referee brought the ball to the middle of the field. You kicked off. When the half was over, he just said, yep, the half's over. That's what he wants to go back to. I kind of like it.
You like it?
I kind of like it.
Okay, well, okay. I didn't understand it, but I hear what you're saying. Let's go to Aaron. Aaron in Green Tree. What's up, Aaron?
Hey, Bob, how you doing?
Okay, thanks.
Hey, 3 questions I got for you. Number one, I bet a ton on the Rams plus 3 points. Number two
That's not a
is
question.
The Pirates over and under is 78.5. And number three is I was at the hockey game tonight, and I'll tell you what, the Penguins played terrible. I never seen Malkin play so bad. And Murray, I mean, what the heck's wrong with Murray? He gave up 6 goals.
Yeah, he didn't have a good. It was just one of those games. For whatever reason, they don't play well against the Devils, and the Devils have a good team. When I watch the Devils play, sometimes I wonder why they are where they are. They're better talent-wise. Now, Taylor Hart, their best player, is not playing. Gene, Ben Lovejoy's one of their regular defensemen. He's out on the IR, but still.
Yeah, we forgot to mention they did this without Taylor Hall,
Yeah.
who was their best player. But the Devils are one of those teams, and there aren't many of them, where the Penguins just don't match up well against. It's kind of like the Steelers with the Jaguars. It's just not a great matchup.
All right, I want to read some tweets here in a minute. In the meantime, let's go out to Bill in Plum. Hello, Bill. How are you?
Good. Hey, I just have a comment, Bob.
Okay.
According to Ed Bouchette's tweets, he said that the Pittsburgh market was the second largest watching the Pro Bowl next to Kansas City.
Well, I saw the numbers. I saw the numbers locally. We get an overnight copy of them, and I can tell you this: in Pittsburgh, the NHL All-Star Game did a better number, overall numbers. I don't know how they break it down demographically, than the Pro Bowl did. So it may still had a bigger number than other markets, but by comparison, I thought the hockey one had a better overall number. So whatever, and people watch it, and that's what I asked Gene. They're not going to get rid of this game. So my question is, what do you do to make it watchable for people who don't want to watch it, or players who don't want to play it? You know, Gene, what are they going to do?
And I had no answer that time or this time.
Okay, line one we go. It's Rick and Elizabeth. Hey, Rick, what's up?
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking the call.
You're welcome.
Wanted to get both your opinions on overtime. There's got to be a better way than how they're doing it now. I personally think both teams should have a shot and should get the ball, as opposed to the way it's set up right now, so one-sided. Just want to get your thoughts and what possibly could be done to make changes. Thanks.
Yeah, I would start there. Both teams have to touch it, regardless of what happens on the first possession by the team that wins this coin toss. And then I don't know after that.
Yeah, I mean, I could agree with that. The theory is that, you know, because you don't have the ball, that does not mean you're not playing football. I mean, you're still out there. You can take the ball away. You can stop them on third down. But that's the theory, and I agree with Bob. I'd like to see both teams have it. Personally, I'd like to see it go one of two ways. Like the college game, that format, I like that format. I also like this format best. The coin toss determines the winner right on the spot. You don't need to play anything.
Well, then New England still would have won a lot more, right?
Yeah, sure.
I have a couple of tweets I don't want to read, actually.
Really?
I will in a second.
Is somebody being mean on Twitter?
No, it's just funny, actually, very funny. Pete in Squirrel Hill, go ahead, Pete.
Gentlemen, how are you tonight?
Good.
Questionable.
Bob, real quick and everything. I keep hearing the word dynasty thrown around about the Patriots. Now, I defer to the Elias Sports Bureau, who sometimes you refer to also. They say to be termed a dynasty in sports, Bob, you have to win 3 consecutive years or 4 and 5 years. So with that in mind, the only true dynasty in the history of the NFL is the 60 Packers, the only team ever to three-peat. Now, Lombardi won 5 titles in 7 years. Belichick has won 5 in, 18? There's no comparison there, Bob. What do you think about that?
Well, it depends on what your term of, dynasty. I never heard a definition of a dynasty. To me, it's a very, it's a subjective. I've heard a lot of different things. I think this is the best. Think about it this way. They have gone to, what, 9 Super Bowls in the last 17 years.
Yeah, and 8 consecutive championship games.
And 8 consecutive championship games.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good.
And they've won. This would be 6 wins in a Super Bowl if they should get it. 6 wins out of the last how many years? 17 years. That's a pretty good percentage. Now, dynasty to you, but I think that's a pretty good run. I still think if you look at the best franchises' success since the Super Bowl era, I would put the Steelers above everyone else just because of the overall amount of winning.
Sure.
You know, so I mean, it's a subjective thing. It's your opinion.
It's like most valuable player.
Right. All right, we got to take a break here, and we'll come back with Seth, Anthony, Kelvin, and Bob all next right here on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.